We have opened the session. We're letting participants in. Allow a few seconds for everyone to join and to connect with their audio as we start this session. Let's see everyone joining as well. Okay, I will slowly commence and then we'll get this show on the road. So welcome everyone to today's session and everyone who's joined us from Asia and Europe to this country-focused workshop series, Navigating Science and Technology Diplomacy Ecosystems. We're very happy to be here today to launch this series on Thailand, and specifically the role of government strategy and actions in Thailand's science, technology, and innovation diplomacy ecosystem. We're happy to be organizing this series in collaboration with the Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation, or MHESI, in Thailand, as well as with the Office of National Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation Policy Council, or NXPO. You will hear me use these abbreviations a bit throughout, so let's familiarize ourselves with them. But thank you to our partners for working with us on this series here. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Linnea Rignell, and I work here at the Asia Europe Foundation and within our education department. And I have the honor of coordinating these projects and the workshop series that we are organizing, specifically focusing in on science, technology, innovation, and all of its components within international relations. At this point, I would like to quickly go over the agenda of today's session so you have an idea what we have ahead of us for the coming 2 hours. So for the beginning of this session, we'll have some welcome remarks from representatives from both the Asia Europe Foundation and our partners. So we'll start off with Mr. Zhang Li, our Deputy Executive Director, followed by our ASEF Governor for Thailand, Mrs. Shulamani Shatsuwan. And we also are happy to have representations from NXPO here today with the Vice President, Prof. Vongkot Vongsapai. Thank you very much for being here. We look forward to your welcome remarks. After the welcome remarks, we'll go into our presentation for today with an introduction to science and technology and innovation in Thailand. Here today to deliver this presentation is Ms. Aline Prumpapai. So very much looking forward to that presentation. And then we also will have the second half of our session today with the panel discussion with our distinguished guests, which for you as an audience, you will have the opportunity to ask questions and hear some answers on the input and perspectives on the role of government in the intersection between science, innovation, technology, policy, and diplomacy. So for the Q&A function and throughout, you can post your questions using the Q&A button that is available on your screen. Here you can post questions, upload comments, etc. And we'll also be able to see, of course, what you have in terms of your input. If you have any comments you would like to make, you can use the chat function for this. So please have a distinction here between the questions that you wish to address to our speakers here today in the Q&A and any comments you would like to make and engage in discussion in the chat function. But with that being said, I would like to already go into our welcome remarks. And I would welcome our Deputy Executive Director here at the Asia Europe Foundation, Mrs. Zhang Li, to deliver his welcome remarks. Mrs. Zhang, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Governor Chulamani Chasuwan, Associate Professor Vongkot Vongsapai, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, and friends from across Asia and Europe. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to this country-focused workshop series on navigating Thailand's science, technology, and innovation diplomacy ecosystem. On behalf of the Asia Europe Foundation, I extend my warmest greetings to everyone joining us today, whether you represent government, academia, business, or the diplomatic community. We are proud to be organizing this workshop series in partnership with the Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation, and the Office of National Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation Policy Council. We are also grateful for the support of Eurosexis for this project. Thailand is an emerging regional leader in Southeast Asia, integrating both traditional and innovative approaches to science, technology, and innovation diplomacy. By combining STI diplomacy with a decentralized model, Thailand empowers a wide range of stakeholders to contribute towards national goals and maintain flexibility in their approaches. This collaborative model, supported by strong interagency coordination, international partnerships, and data-driven policies, positions Thailand as a hub for cooperation in fields such as space exploitation, biotechnology, and green technology. Over the course of this workshop series, we will examine Thailand's approach in action, showcasing the country's strategic vision, institutional frameworks, and the emerging opportunities for international collaboration. Our sessions will highlight the vital contributions of government, academia, research institutions, and the business sector, offering a comprehensive look at how coordinated efforts can strengthen Thailand's role in the global science, technology, and innovation landscape. I encourage all participants to make the most of this opportunity, engage actively in discussions over the chat, and share your insights and reflections on the topics. We hope you will emerge from this experience with increased knowledge on the Thai STI ecosystem, and that you will be incentivized to engage in collaboration with the different stakeholders in Thailand, combining the efforts to bring forward positive change in the field. Thank you for joining us today, and again to the Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation, and the Office of National Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation Policy Council for your partnership. I look forward to the coming discussions and the insightful remarks by the experts joining us today and for the coming weeks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zhang, for those welcome remarks and for your points on why we're conducting this workshop series specifically on Thailand. We very much look forward to this. Thank you so much for being here representing ASEF at this occasion. Next, I would like to give the floor to another person who is actively involved in the work that we're doing here at ASEF. And I would like to give the floor to Mrs. Shulamani Chatsuwan, who is our ASEF governor for Thailand, for her welcome remarks. At this point, Mrs. Chatsuwan, this floor is yours. You may.
Yes. Distinguished colleagues and friends, it is a great honor to open this workshop series on navigating Thailand's science, technology, and innovation diplomacy ecosystem. I would like to thank ASEF for initiating this important dialogue and for its steadfast commitment to fostering cooperation between Asia and Europe in the most transformative fields of our time. Thailand recognizes that to break free from the middle income trap and secure a sustainable future, we must place science, technology, and innovation at the center of our national strategy. These are not only engines of growth and competitiveness, they are also powerful tools for diplomacy and global engagement. Science diplomacy, in particular, offers us a channel to build trust, solve shared challenges, and enhance regional and global collaboration. As Sir Peter Gluckman, President of the International Science Council, aptly said, and I quote, "Science diplomacy is not a luxury of international relations, but a necessity," unquote. This is especially true as we navigate complex global crises that require knowledge-driven cross-border cooperation. Equally compelling is the insight from the Fabiola Giannotti, Director General of CERN, who reminds us that, and I quote, "Global challenges require global responses, and science diplomacy can build bridges where politics cannot," unquote. Our self-initiative in this series of science diplomacy thus reflects its relevance and constructive roles to bridge the existing gap, to connect policy, research, and practice across the Asia-Europe community, and to provide an invaluable platform for meaningful dialogue and collaboration within the country and within the Asia-Europe community. I am pleased that Thailand is featured in this series, not only to share our experiences, but to reflect on how we can do more to align our innovation and foreign policy ecosystem for the benefit of our people and for the benefit of our planet. Let me close by expressing my sincere hope that this workshop series will inspire fresh thinking, spark practical cooperation, and help us shape a future where knowledge and diplomacy work hand in hand for the benefit of all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Governor Shatsuwan, for those welcome remarks and also for contextualizing this in the global field as well, with some remarks from Sir Peter Gluckman as well as other representatives from CERN. I think it's important to note this as we go into this workshop series, as we're not only learning about Thailand, but also its role in the global field. So thank you very much for those welcome remarks. At this stage, we are going to our third and final welcome remarks, a representative from one of our partners on this workshop series, from the Office of the National Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation Policy Council. With us here today, we have the Vice President, Associate Professor Vongkot Vongsapai. We're very thankful to have you here today, and we're looking forward to hearing your welcome remarks. Please.
Good afternoon from Bangkok, Thailand. Dear Mr. Chang Lei, Deputy Executive Director of Asia-Europe Foundation, Mrs. Julamani Chasuwan, ASEF Governor of Thailand, distinguished speakers and participants. On behalf of the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation of Thailand, also called MHESI, Professor Supachai Patumnakul, and the President of the Office of the National Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation Policy Council of Thailand, or NXPO, Dr. Surachai Sathikunarat. I am very pleased to welcome you to this session of the Navigating Thailand's Science, Technology and Innovation Diplomacy Ecosystem workshop series. It is a great pleasure for MHESI and NXPO to co-host this initiative with ASEF, and I commend the Foundation for its continued leadership in fostering dialogue between Asia and Europe, in terms of particularly through its science and technology diplomacy initiative for young leaders. This session marks the beginning of a three-part journey, exploring how Thailand's science, technology, and innovation diplomacy have evolved. Today, we focus on government strategy, which is a key driver in shaping our international engagement and policy direction. Thailand considers science and technology diplomacy not just an instrument for international cooperation, but as a bridge linking the innovation, the diplomacy, and including the sustainable development. Through national strategy, multi-sector coordination, and global partnership, we aim to ensure science, technology, and innovation plays as crucial and central role in addressing shared challenges. We are very proud to our expanding coordination, cooperation from space technology and climate actions to research collaboration in emerging fields. These efforts reflect our belief that knowledge exchange and joint innovation are essential to global progress. This workshop series offers an opportunity to share our experience and engage with colleagues across Asia and Europe. I encourage you to take this chance to exchange ideas and explore the new ways to collaborate across the border and disciplines. Thank you once again to Asia-Europe Foundation and all partners involved in this initiative. I look forward to the insight and inspiration that will emerge from today's discussion. Thank you very much. ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you very much, Kapunka, for your welcome remarks, Prof. Vongsaphai. It's very happy for us to be here and to working with NXPO and MHESI on this workshop series. And as you mentioned, I appreciate the encouraging words as well, that we, as I mentioned, not only are looking to learn from Thailand, but also see where we can work together for the future. Thank you very much for your welcome remarks. Okay. Thank you again to our speakers for the welcome remarks and for setting the scene for today as we go into our first session on the topic. To help set the stage and to contextualize and provide an introduction to the science, technology, and innovation diplomacy ecosystem in Thailand, we have our introductory lecture with us here today. Allow me to introduce our presenter here today, Mrs. Saline Promphai, who is a diplomat at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Thailand and currently serving as the Deputy Director General of the Department of International Economic Affairs. Prior to that, she was a director at the Department of East Asian Affairs, responsible specifically for Thailand's bilateral relations with neighboring countries in the maritime area. She has also served as in the Ministry's Office for Policy and Planning for 6 years, and she oversees alignment, including her posting at the Royal Thai Embassies in Yangon and in Tokyo. So we have here a vast experience, not only in Thailand, but also beyond. She graduated from the London School of Economics and Political Science in the UK, where she received her PhD in International Relations in 2003. So also with this academic background, with the experience that she has within the different ministries, we're very thankful for Mrs. Promphai for being here today and for delivering this introduction. With that being said, and with that introduction, I would like to hand over the floor to you for your speech. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you very much, Linia. Mr. Chen, the Deputy Executive Director of ASEF, Ambassador Julamani Chasuwan, ASEF Governor of Thailand, Associate Professor Wongkot Wongapai from NXPO, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to the organizers for your kind invitation to me to speak in today's workshop, which is very timely indeed. Science, technology, and innovation, which we commonly call STI, have moved to the center of Thailand's development agenda and are increasingly shaping the way we engage with the world. In the past, many of us might view science and economic diplomacy as distinct domains. However, in today's interconnected world, these fields are deeply intertwined. Our ability to navigate global challenges increasingly depends on how effectively we ally innovation with international partnerships. So this was recently recognized in Asia-Europe Science and Technology Diplomacy Report, published just a few months ago in April this year. The report underscored Thailand's strength in developing a dynamic and decentralized STI ecosystem. More importantly, this ecosystem is not developing in a vacuum. It is aligned with our broader national priorities, particularly in scaling up emerging technologies, building resilience, and equipping our people and institutions for the future. This afternoon, I hope to share with you some information and reflections on how Thailand's legal framework, strategic direction, and foreign policy instruments work together to support our SDI ambitions, both at home and through our partnerships abroad. To begin, I'd like to draw your attention to some of our legal bases in this area, that is our Constitution. Thailand's 2017 Constitution offers more than just broad encouragement for science and innovation. It also provides firm legal mandate that anchors SDI in our national development framework. The Thai Constitution requires that in formulating its policy, the government must promote and support research and development in the fields of science, technology, and innovation, with the aim of enhancing societal resilience and improving national competitiveness. In the context of national reform, it also directs the government to promote and apply modern technology and innovation as tools to advance the country's economic development. What's more, the government itself is mandated to adopt modern technologies and integrate database across all government agencies to ensure good governance, transparency, accessibility, and public trust in delivering its public services. So these legal provisions have brought advanced technologies and innovation into the heart of national development and sustainable economic growth. The constitutional mandate is a legal framework for formulating government policy. Turning this legal commitment into real-world impact requires clear direction, strategic planning, and coordinated action. So this is where our National Science Research and Innovation Plan 2023 to 2027 plays a vital role. At the heart of this plan is about human capital, placing strong emphasis on preparing Thai people with the advanced skills and expertise needed to thrive in a knowledge-driven world and to play an active role in driving national development. The second priority is the development of a value-driven economy. Our aim is to move beyond cost-based competitiveness towards a model driven by creativity, research, and technological innovation. The third priority is resilience. Science and technology must be mobilized to address the environmental, social, and global challenges that we face, and we must do so in a way that supports sustainable and inclusive long-term growth. To realize this goal, the government has significantly increased its investment in the SDI sector. For this fiscal year, the SDI fund has been allocated 19.25 billion baht, or around $596, alongside around 44 billion baht, or about $1.38 billion, approved for broader science, research, and innovation programs. So with this plan and financial foundation in place, the next question is, how does SDI translate into tangible improvements in people's lives? The answer lies in its power to tackle some of Thailand's most pressing societal challenges, from ensuring the well-being of an aging population, to narrowing economic disparities, to reducing corruption. One clear example I can share with you is about how to address our aging population, and that is the question of elderly care. With Thailand's aging population growing rapidly, innovations such as AI-assisted telehealth platforms and robotics are being deployed through public health partnerships to deliver remote consultations and continuous monitoring. Another key priority is bridging income gaps and revitalizing rural economies. Programs like the Young Smart Farmers Initiative are equipping the next generation of our farmers with tools like precision farming, precision agriculture, climate adaptive practices, and digital market access, blending modern innovation with traditional knowledge into turning into increasing productivity, resilience, and prosperity in the rural area. Good governance has also benefited from the SDI-driven tools. The adoption of e-service platforms exemplified by our policy called Go Cloud First, has enabled local authorities to deliver unified cloud-based digital public services, which enhances operational efficiency, accessibility, and accountability. Now, let me share with you also about how the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Thailand fits into the picture of our national attempts to drive science, technology, and innovation. Thailand's efforts to apply STI domestically reflects a broader vision, not only to address national challenges, but also to position the country as a proactive, solutions-oriented partner on the global stage. Central to this vision, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, or the MFA, plays a crucial role as a bridge builder in science diplomacy, fostering connections between Thai researchers and international partners, facilitating the exchange of knowledge and resources, and ensuring that global scientific cooperation delivers shared values. To advance this mission, the MFA works closely with a number of agencies and partners. Many of them are here with us today in this webinar. By aligning national agencies with international frameworks and championing inclusive, practical solutions in multilateral settings, the MFA reinforces Thailand's innovation agenda. It's both globally relevant and locally impactful. The framework we work with our partner agencies cover many perspectives about how we look at STI. For example, we talk about science for competitiveness by strengthening Thailand's role in global value chains through innovation. We talk about science diplomacy for the public by leveraging global partnerships to deliver tangible benefits. We talk about science in diplomacy by using and utilizing scientific evidence into foreign policy. And also we have science for diplomacy by using STI as a tool for cooperation. And of course, we talk about diplomacy for science by expanding global opportunities for Thai scientists and startups. This direction was further reinforced in the year 2018 when the ministry issued Thailand's 20-year foreign affairs master plan, which highlights the importance of promoting international exchange of knowledge and best practices in technology and innovation as a means to advance Thailand's development. In implementing this master plan, the MFA integrates STI as a key pillar of economic diplomacy, recognizing STI as a powerful tool for enhancing Thailand's global competitiveness. Beyond economic value, STI also serves as a strategic lever for strengthening Thailand's international positioning and contribution. In operational terms, Thailand adopts a decentralized model of science diplomacy, empowering educational institutions, research agencies, and government bodies to independently pursue international partnerships based on their specific mandates, expertise, and regional context. This flexibility allows Thailand's STI ecosystem to respond dynamically to emerging global opportunities. This flexibility has also enabled Thai embassies to proactively explore strategic sectors where STI intersects with national interest. A key strand of this engagement focuses on promoting Thailand's global competitiveness by positioning the country as a trustworthy innovation partner with international value chains. This strategic positioning is already producing concrete results. Major US technology firms are now in advanced negotiation for large-scale data center investments in Thailand, reflecting growing confidence in the country's digital infrastructure and innovation potential. Notably, Microsoft is finalizing approvals to establish hyperscale data facilities directly supporting the AI National Initiative, which aims to train 1 million Thais in artificial intelligence skills by the year 2028. So in parallel, the MFA also plays a key role in connecting Thai innovators with global technology ecosystem. In March, we facilitated a series of high-impact engagements for Thai startups with world-renowned innovation hubs such as NVIDIA, Plug and Play, and Block 71. These visits enabled startups to present their solutions, explore collaborations, and gain insights into global market dynamics. Most recently, just last week, the MFA organized a study trip to China in Guangdong province. We brought professionals in healthcare and academia from government and private sector to exchange and explore possible cooperation in the fields of medicine, healthcare, and wellness with their Chinese counterparts. In partnership with domestic agencies such as the National Innovation Agency, we have also brought Thai startups to participate in the 7th Bangkok-Shanghai Economic Conference in 2024 and the Franco-Thai Innovation and Startup Week in Paris the year before, or in the year 2023. Both events provided Thai startups with platforms to showcase innovations, expand networks, and explore international partnerships. In addition to outbound efforts, the Thai embassies have supported inbound innovation exchanges. Royal Thai Embassy in Tel Aviv, for example, facilitated the visits of Israeli startups to Thailand, where they participated in seminars, business matching events, and the TechSource Global Summit 2024, which is Thailand's premier platform for global innovation exchange. Together, these initiatives reflect our commitment to STI as a core pillar of economic diplomacy, deepening international engagement, empowering Thai innovators, and advancing Thailand's competitiveness on the global stage. A vital strand of Thailand's science diplomacy is to use STI as a tool to foster trust, deepen engagement, and promote cooperation beyond traditional political or economic channels. Earlier, Ambassador Julamani spoke that science can be a tool and can work where politics may not be able to. So this approach highlights the importance of science, which can be a tool of diplomacy so clearly. This approach recognizes the neutral and constructive power of STI to connect people, institutions, and ideas across borders, even in times of geopolitical complexity. So one outstanding example of this vision in practice is the Thailand Nordic Countries Innovation Unit, or what we call TNIU, established in 2022. This unique initiative brings together Thai embassies in Denmark, Finland, Norway, and Sweden to promote innovation-driven collaboration. Through knowledge exchange, business matching, investment facilitation, and academic cooperation, TNIU serves as a model of how regional diplomatic networks can elevate Thailand's innovation ecosystem while fostering mutual benefit with advanced economies. Our embassies also play a vital role in building scientific and technological bridges between Thai and international institutions. In Copenhagen, for example, our embassy helped facilitate a partnership between the National Science and Technology Development Agency and the Niels Bohr Institute of Denmark on quantum technology, a frontier field with transformative potential. The same embassy also supported collaboration on carbon capture and storage, or CCS technologies, linking Thailand's CCS Frontier Research Group with Danish experts from the Green Sand Project. In Germany, our Thai embassy in Berlin has promoted vocational education cooperation between Thai public and private sector stakeholders and German institutions, transferring knowledge and best practices that directly strengthen Thailand's human capital. In Turkey, the embassy has coordinated space diplomacy efforts, linking the Thai Space Consortium, which is a national initiative composed of Thai scientific agencies and universities, with the Turkish Space Agency, and this collaboration supports Thailand's ambitions to become a regional player in space science and technology. Another example is the work of our embassy in Canberra, which facilitated an agri-tech partnership for sustainable agriculture between Thai stakeholders and Australian research institutions. I can go on and on about the activities of our embassies abroad. We have almost 100 embassies and consulate generals from Thailand around the world. So these embassies and consulate generals can do very active work in promoting SDI with our partners around the world. These efforts reflect our core conviction because it shows that our embassies are not only diplomatic posts, but also active enablers of Thailand's transformation into a regional hub for advanced technology and innovation. Cooperation in science can be a powerful tool to promote long-term relationships, expand opportunity for our researchers and innovators, and can contribute constructively to global problem solving. Colleagues, Thailand can also actively promote SDI through interregional and multilateral cooperation in order to move towards an open, innovation-driven ecosystem. At the multilateral level, we continue to support initiatives that enhance scientific mobility and knowledge exchange, including South Korea's initiative to develop the APEC Scientist Travel Card, which seeks to enhance mobility of scientists and researchers in the Asia-Pacific region. South Korea is, by the way, the current host of APEC this year. In fact, in APEC, we discuss and exchange extensively about how we and fellow member economies can enhance SDI cooperation. In the ASEAN context in Southeast Asia, Thailand reaffirmed our strong commitment to regional SDI cooperation. For example, in the year 2024, we contribute a total of almost $200,000 US to the ASEAN SDI partnership. This funding supports activity designed to build regional capacity and deepen collaborative networks across Southeast Asia. In addition, we work with our friends in the Mekong sub-region. An example is Mekong countries' cooperation with China, or what we call MLC. Thailand leverages the Mekong Lanchang Corporation Special Fund to advance SDI in the region. Between the year 2017 and 2024, the fund supported almost 100 Thai-led projects worth nearly $25 million US. These projects span a broad spectrum, and many are driven by the Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research, and Innovation. They reflect a shared vision for sustainable development and the importance of cross-border knowledge exchange. Finally, Thailand's aspiration to become a member of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or the OECD, underlines our long-term commitment to international standards of governance, transparency, and evidence-based policymaking. OECD accession will not only enhance benchmarking capacity, but also help to ensure that Thailand's SDI strategy are aligned with global best practice. So as a member of Asia-Europe Meeting, or ASEM, Thailand benefits from a unique interregional platform for SDI cooperation across two dynamic continents. ASEM offers Thailand a strategic gateway to strengthen its SDI ecosystem, expand partnerships, and position itself as a regional bridge between Asian innovation and European expertise. Looking ahead, Thailand sees strong potential for collaboration with Europe in the following areas. In digital economy, Thailand is placing a strong focus on developing key sectors such as artificial intelligence, chip design, cybersecurity, and digital infrastructure. Our ambition is clear because we want to produce at least 80,000 highly skilled digital professionals within the next 5 years. In smart agriculture and agri-tech, we aim to triple farmers' incomes by the year 2028 through precision agriculture, food innovation clusters, and sustainable supply chains. Current research agendas focus on sensor networks, satellite analytics, and the development of biofertilizers. Also in health and wellness sector, we are building on our well-established strength in medical tourism. We are now scaling up research and development in areas such as biologics, wearable diagnostics, and integrated health service platforms. These efforts are designed not only to maintain our global competitiveness, but also to enhance the resilience of our domestic healthcare system. And meanwhile, in the field of sustainable development and green technology, our path towards carbon neutrality by the year 2050 and towards net zero emissions by the year 2065 requires bold innovation. We are focusing on renewable energy, green hydrogen, carbon capture, utilization and storage, as well as climate resilient agriculture. This emphasis on green transition technologies has already begun to bear fruit, most notably through the Saratburi Sandbox project. This initiative serves as a real-world testing ground for green innovation, bringing together government, industry, and academia to co-develop and deploy sustainable solutions. One of its flagship achievements is the development and application of low-carbon cement, a critical breakthrough in decarbonizing and construction sector. Now coming to my conclusion, allow me to close with 3 observations that will guide our path forward. Technology cycles move faster than administrative cycles. Our success will depend on accelerating regulatory review, adopting adaptive governance models, and institutionalizing a culture of experimentation within the public sector. Fiscal incentives and infrastructure attract investment, but talent will retain it. So continuous investment in STEM education, lifelong reskilling, and international talent exchange is essential to sustain competitiveness. Effective SDI diplomacy requires integrated action. Ministries, universities, research institutes, and private enterprise must align objectives, share data, and coordinate outreach. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs will continue to serve as a bridge builder. The outcomes will depend on our collective commitment. As we navigate the evolving landscape of science, technology, and innovation, let us keep in mind that diplomacy grounded in shared knowledge and mutual benefits is among the most enduring tools that we have, not only to advance national interest, but also to help build a better and more resilient world. With that, I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Prangprapai, for those remarks and for giving us an introduction to this very complex and impressive system that Thailand has in this field. For me, as someone who is not perhaps so familiar with the system, but has read, of course, the report that was constructed as part of our research last year, for me, it's very interesting to learn more, and especially to see how Thailand is working between ministries and agencies to have this very complex cooperation. And also with the introduction and, as you say, the inclusion of industry and these different initiatives to include startups as well, really showcasing that Thailand is considerate of all the different aspects and stakeholders that are active in this field. And it's interesting to see also how you see science, technology, and innovation to play such an important part also, not only, as you mentioned, within international economic affairs, but also in international affairs and international partnerships in general. So it's very interesting for me to hear about this, and very great to have you here to give this presentation. As we have a lot of attendees here today, I would like to give the opportunity to them to ask some questions. So for this, I would like to invite Mrs. Prangprapai to help out to moderate some questions with our speaker here today. So please take the opportunity to post your questions in the chat, and we'll have a bit of a discussion here as well.
Thank you very much, Linnea, and Ms. Salini. Thank you so much for very, very insightful insights. Very, very, very insightful also perspectives on how Thailand and how Ministry of Foreign Affairs, including partners, can work together on science, technology, and innovation diplomacy. And before we begin the Q&A, when we are still waiting for the questions to come in, I would like to address some of the poll questions that pop up during the keynote presentation. So we have launched 3 questions already. When you were speaking with Salini, the first 2 questions, we already got results. So the first question was, how important do you think STI diplomacy is in addressing global challenges like climate change, pandemics, or geopolitical tension. And 90% of the audience answered very important, and 10% answered somewhat important. No one actually answered not important. So I think we all agree that science, technology, innovation, diplomacy is important. I mean, no one chose not important, so that's a really good indicator, right? And coming to the second question, which global issue should Thailand prioritize through its STI diplomacy efforts? For this question, there are 5 different alternative choices. And the one that received highest number of answers is on climate change and promoting environmental sustainability. And the second one is to use science diplomacy to bridge the digital divide and to expand access to technology. So this very, very interesting result. And the second question on the priorities that science diplomacy can address, it links back very, very well to Ms. Salini's presentation on the role of diplomacy to address resilience. You mentioned about the constitutions that have priorities on 3 things. The first priority is on human capital, and then the second priority is on the value-driven economy to move beyond cost-based competitiveness towards model-driven by creativity. And then the third one is on resilience. And science and technology must be mobilized to address the environmental, social, and global challenges that we face. So this corresponds very nicely to the poll that we got. Now, coming to the poll again, now we see the results for the third question on what is the biggest challenge facing Thailand in contributing to global diplomacy. And the answers are quite similar in terms of the ratio, but still the highest one is ensuring continuity in domestic policy and high-level leadership commitment. So I guess this reflects the current political situation as well in Thailand. And the second one is on navigating geopolitical dynamics and regional power shifts. And the third one is on stakeholder involvement and dedication. So let's see if we have any questions now from the audience. We have 2 questions. I will read the question here. The first one is, what national goals are Thailand's top priority, and what concrete plans does science, technology, and innovation diplomacy have to achieve these goals? Could you please start by addressing this question, Ms. Salini?
Sure. I mean, the question is about priorities, right? What are our priorities and how we can use the STI diplomacy to achieve? Did I hear correctly? Right? Okay. I think the main priority, if you like, of goal is, of course, to advance the economic growth for the well-being of our people. And our aim to achieve this increasing advanced state of our economy needs help from science and technology as well. And that is why I touched upon the topics that we give importance to, including agriculture, which we are strong with. We want to enhance our strength by improving the state of our agriculture, turning our farmers into so-called smart farmers, and increasingly so in the future as well. So by doing that, we hope that we will encourage our people, and groups in our society to gain strength by using by using science, technology, and innovation to help them to advance in their respective path. And also, we would like to build partnership and contribution in the international and regional stage as well, and that is why we expand and utilize instruments of science and technology in our international arena. We cooperate with our neighbors, not just within our region, but also in other regional groupings as well. And by using these efforts, we aim to enhance partnerships. And of course, I think the benefits are two-way. We help them And then we also gain by exchanging best practices with them. We expand our networks of friends and scientific networks and knowledge. I think that the values that we create will be greater than the sum of its parts. So that is why we'd like to build big networks of partnerships as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have another question. You mentioned that MFA works with many ministries and many agencies in Thailand, of course, and NXPO is actually one of the collaborating agency with the MFA. So these questions come from our audience. From MFA's practice, to what extent has MFA worked together with MHESI, the Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation?
I think we work with the Ministry of MHESI all the time, actually, both bilaterally and multilaterally. On bilateral framework, when we advance relations with countries near and far, one of the key aspects of cooperation is always about science and technology. And when we prepare for the discussions and talks and meetings with our friends abroad, the MHESI is always a key ministry that we consult with. So we identify areas of cooperation between Thailand and the other country, and we work with them to see how best we can proceed on that path. That is bilateral level. On a multilateral level, of course, we engage quite constructively and actively in platforms such as ASEAN, APEC, which I mentioned, OECD, of course, and now with BRICS as well. These various platforms that we take part have almost all the time have aspects of science and technology in them. So when we prepare ourselves to go to these meetings, of course, we consult with our partners, our ally agencies, to identify areas that we can work with our friends abroad as well.
Thank you. Those are all the questions from the audience, but I also have one more question. You have provided quite many examples of how Ministry of Foreign Affairs brings collaboration on STI diplomacy into action in various countries and various fields, from agriculture to space technology. With the vast network of embassies and consulates globally, could you please highlight one key government strategy or initiative that has significantly shaped the diplomacy efforts, and what outcomes has it delivered so far? Just focus on one key initiative.
Well, there are quite a lot to pick from. Okay, if I have to choose one, I probably will choose the industry about the advanced electronics, semiconductors, AI industry. I think this is one of the areas that we focus on, and it's becoming increasingly important. We instruct our embassies and consulate abroad to approach their partners, companies and potential entrepreneurs abroad that can collaborate with our Thai partners. And these discussions and talks have advanced quite well. Now that we have attracted quite some interest from our foreign friends. For example, companies like Western Digital which already produces 40% of the global hard disk drives in the world, is also expanding into the next generation technologies are in talks with us. And tech giants like Microsoft and Amazon are also planning significant investment in Thailand as well. I think these talks are examples of they are kind of the culmination of our attempts in trying to enhance cooperation between our side and our partners abroad.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We just got one more question from the audience, and this will be the last question before we move on to the panel discussion. The question is, what are the issues that Thailand is facing in science and technology towards its sustainable future plans?
What are the problems you mean?
What are the issues that Thailand is facing in terms of science and technology towards its sustainable and future plans?
I see. I think that there are quite a number of issues that we face and we have to work hard on. You mentioned about climate change. That is one big issue that we have to work very hard on it. And it is very linked with the issue of green transition. I mentioned in my talk about the technology, the CCS technology, that we are trying to expand cooperation with other partners which have expertise. We're talking about the alternative energy. We're expanding our concept of the BCG, that is the biocircular green technology. We're trying to share this with our friends in many forums, including in APEC as well. I think these are some of the issues that I can think of right now, and this is something that we have to work hard on as well.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nalini. So now we will move on to the next part of this session, which is the panel discussion.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nalini, for your presentation, and thank you, Priya, for helping out with the facilitation of this short Q&A following the introduction. Thank you very much for your time. I know that you have limited time to stay for longer, but we thank you for being here with us here today and for answering these questions following your speech, for providing us this insight into the role of the ministry within the ecosystem in Thailand, and for giving, I think, some food for thought also for setting up these coming workshop series on the interactions between both the ministries and the government side, as well as academia and the business sector. So thank you for being here with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Okay, as Ms. Priya mentioned, we are now moving into our second half of today's session, and with our panel discussion. I'll allow her to stay with me here on screen as I introduce also her formally. She will be the one chairing today's panel discussion, and then also our panelists joining us here today. So allow me then to introduce here Dr. Priya Srinamanavit Lundberg, who is the Director of International Policy Partnership at NXPO and who will be chairing today's session. She holds a PhD in Industrial Economics and Management from apologies as I almost went into Swedish because it's a Swedish institute that I'm presenting here. KTH, Royal Institute of Technology in Stockholm in Sweden. And in her current role at NXPO, she leads the international collaboration efforts on higher education, science, research, and innovation policy, working here on both multilateral and bilateral platforms. She has represented the government of Thailand in various international committees and in task forces, which includes the OECD Committee for Scientific and Technological Policies, the UN ESCAP Committee on Information and Communications Technology, Science and Technology and Innovation, and as well as the BIMSTEC Expert Group on Human Resources Development. She's also been seconded as an assistant to the Minister of Science and Technology and the Minister of Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation. So with that background, I'm very happy for you to be joining us today and for leading today's panel discussion. Thank you for being with us. Allow me then also to introduce our esteemed panelists that will be sharing their perspectives and their knowledge with us in today's discussion. First, allow me to introduce Dr. Pongpan Kaipati, who is the Director of Intelligence Unit at the Science, Research and Innovation for Economic Development at the Thailand Science, Research and Innovation, where he's also previously served as the Vice President between 2019 and 2024. Dr. Pongpan has received his PhD from Nippon Institute of Technology in Japan in 2020 and has also been working at the Faculty of Engineering at KMUTT until now. Well, now he's also the Associate Professor at the Department of Mechanical Engineering at that institute, where he's also been heading the department between 2010 and 2014. Now he's, though, focusing more on innovation policy, which relates to his current position at TSRI, where he's been working with also the Thailand Research Fund since 2014, before the Thailand Research Fund has been transferred into the Science, Research and Innovation policy here in 2019, where he's also played a very important role in establishing the National Research Funding Program to support industrial and academic partnerships. So while he's here with us on today's session on government role, we also rely a bit perhaps on those intersections between industry and academia as well. Thank you so much for being with us here today. Our second panelist here today is Dr. Kanchana Vanishkorn, who is the Director of Sectoral Development under the ASEAN Economic Community at the ASEAN Secretariat, where she's been since 2023. She currently oversees the formulation of the ASEAN economic sectoral plans, which helps support the realization of the ASEAN Community Vision for 2045. Dr. Vanishkorn plays here a very central role in shaping strategic regional incentives, initiatives, which includes also the advancement of the ASEAN power grid, as well as the ASEAN sustainable agriculture and food system, and the implementation of ASEAN Blue Economy framework. So working within different number of sectors here in ASEAN community. But prior to joining the ASEAN Secretariat, she's also served as the Vice President at NXPO. So this is here also a correlation between the institutes as well. And there she led the national and international STI policy and interagency coordination to enhance Thailand's innovation and policy landscape. So again, seeing here the way the different ministries work together within Thailand. With a PhD in engineering and public policy, a master's in electrical and computer engineering from Carnegie Mellon University, an MA in applied economics, and an MS in industrial engineering from the University of Michigan, and a BS with distinction in mechanical engineering from the University of Minnesota. She has a vast academic background and professional background, bringing together over 2 decades of experience within this intersection of science, public policy, and regional cooperation. Thank you very much, Dr. Vanishkorn, for being here with us today. Then, last but not least, allow me to introduce Mr. Titidai Tula, who is the Minister Counselor, part of the Higher Education, Science and Research Innovation at the Royal Thai Embassy in Washington, D.C. So extra thank you for being with us also across the different time zones we have with us here today. At his office and in his role, he's responsible for all bilateral and regional matters, which relates to the work within the ministry. And he has a background himself in electrical and computer engineering as well, similar to Dr. Vanishkorn, and in mathematics, and also received his Master's of Engineering from Cornell University in the States through specifically the Royal Thai Scholarship Program. Before his post now at the embassy in 2024, he also served the Thai government at the Office of Atoms for Peace, the nuclear regulatory body of Thailand, as a senior nuclear engineer, and also has served as the head of international cooperation section there for over 2 years. So bringing there in more of a scientific background himself, now going into more diplomacy. He's also been working closely with several countries and international organizations, which includes the International Atomic Energy Agency and the World Institute for Nuclear Security in the government. So again, thank you very much for being here and for bringing together your experience between different institutions and organizations. And again, thank you for being with us, despite the time zone differences here. With those introductions, I will be quiet for a bit, and I very much look forward to hearing the discussions in today's panel discussion. With that, Ms. Prampraya, the floor is yours. I would love to hand over to you for the facilitation of today's discussion.
Thank you very much, Linnea, for the introduction. So we will begin our panel discussion now. We have, as Linnea mentioned, we have 3 distinguished speakers who have extensive experience in international collaboration and science diplomacy in the public sector. And in this session, we are going to delve into the role of government strategy and actions in Thailand. And we will also explore how the Thai government's policies and strategic vision shape the country's science, technology, diplomacy, and innovation ecosystem, providing a comprehensive overview of this approach. Although all of our panelists are originally from Thailand, their professional career has taken them to different parts of the world, and they are now currently based in 3 different countries. Ms. Kanchana here, she is now working at the ASEAN Secretariat based in Jakarta, Indonesia. Mr. Titidai is a Minister Counselor at the Royal Thai Embassy in Washington, D.C. So he's based in the U.S. And Mr. Pong Pan is the Director of Intelligence Unit at TSRI. So he's based in Bangkok. And I myself is also based in Bangkok. So we are very happy that all of you could join us today, thanks to the online webinar that allow us to be together here. I would like to start the first round to ask from the panelist perspective, based on your perspective on the national and international strategies and also the agencies, the role of your agencies. I will start with Mr. Pong Pan. So Mr. Pong Pan, you work at TSRI, and TSRI plays a key role in shaping research funding structure in Thailand. How does TSRI support international partnerships as part of Thailand's diplomacy strategy?
Thank you very much, Dr. Pran Priya. First of all, I would like to thank you, ASEF and MHESI and NXPO to help me as one of the panelists today. And to answer the question, I would like to share slide in order that all of you can understand more about the science research and innovation ecosystem of Thailand. I hope you can see my slide. Is it okay? Okay. So I will begin with the science research and innovation ecosystem or structures in Thailand. So as mentioned in my CV that read by Linnea, so Thailand has reformed our research and innovation system since 2019. And we combine Ministry of Science and Technology together with Ministry of Higher Education. So right now we have at the policy level, we have the National Higher Education Science Research and Innovation Policy chaired by the Prime Minister. And there are 9 ministers from different ministries relevant to research and innovation as the council members. So we have NXPO as the Secretariat Office of the Council. So, and at the next level, you can see here is the policy deployment and budget allocation. TSI is here. Under TSI, we have, we call the National Science Research and Innovation Promotion Fund, which is acting as the budget bureau for research and innovations. So we allocate the budget to all public agencies in Thailand, including the next level, 9 funding agencies, which in Thailand, we call them as a program management units, because we ask them to manage the research and innovation program for the country. So, and the next level, so we have a lot of public universities and public research institutions. So TSI also allocate the budget to all research institutions and universities in Thailand. In total, every year we allocate the budget to about 200 institutes in Thailand. So to give you more information about the public, the funding agencies or PMU in Thailand, so I give you the name of them here. There are 6 agencies in Ministry of Higher Education, Science Research and Innovation of MHESI, and we have another 2 in Ministry of Public Health and 1 in Ministry of Agriculture. So that means in our structure, we work together for relevant ministry that support research and innovation for the countries. So here is the funding scheme that we use here in Thailand. So we categorize it into main categories. The first one is about the we call Research and Innovation Fund, and the second one is about the Science and Technology Development Fund. For Research and Innovation Fund, the big portion you can see here. So we allocate about 35 to 40% of the budget directly to universities and public institutions. We call the funding scheme here as Fundamental Fund. So this is for universities and research institutes to do basic research or do the research that, according to their mission. And another big portion of the funding we call is Strategic Fund. So it's about 60 to 65% of the budget. We allocate this budget to 9 funding agencies according to the National Plan for Science Research and Innovation. But in 2023, because we have a new act called the Thailand Research and Innovation Utilization Promotion Act, so we started allocate a new portion of budget that is called the Research Utilization Fund here. This fund is used to scale up the research results in order that it can impact the economic and societal development of the country. And for the science and technology development, we just started 2 years ago as well. The main purpose is to support the infrastructure development of Thailand. So if you look at the year 2025, as mentioned already by Ms. Sarini, we allocated around $550 million for from TSI. About 36% is mainly for economic development, 33% for enhancing society and environmental development, and we allocate around 12.6% for frontier research, and at the same number for the capacity building, and around 5% to develop the ecosystem for research and innovation. And TSI, apart from allocating the budget, we also have a major role in drafting the National Science Research and Innovation Plan. The current one is using from 2023 to 2028. For our national plan, there are 4 main strategies. So the first one is focusing on the economic development. The second one is focusing on the society and environmental sustainable development. The third one is about the frontier science and technology. And the last one is about the capacity building. And under each strategy, there are specific programs, and under individual program, we determine the object and key results, and then we assign individual PMU to take accountable of those results, then we allocate the budget to them. That's how we working in Thailand. So for the focus of our current plan, we have 15 flagship programs under our National Plan for Science Research and Innovation. For example, we have the program about the vaccine development. We have the program for functional ingredients, functional food, also for the emerging economies such as electric vehicle, and also to tackle societal problems, for example, aging society and poverty and inequality. So these are our focus for these 5 years. And because we have the board, which is called the National Commission for Science Research and Innovation Promotion, the board has accountable, in allocating the budget. So we receive the policy focus from the board. So they asked us to setting up the new funding scheme called Targeted Research Fund. That means apart from agenda setting, we should focus more on the target that we want to achieve. And then the board also want us to focus more on the multi and block grant, not single year budgeting. So we try to work hard on this as well. And the board also asks us to support more for young researchers, and also to strengthen the career path of the researcher. And finally, they ask us to strengthen international networks as well as domestic collaboration as well. So going back to the question, here's the answer, that we have the funding scheme to support international collaborations. We call it the Global Partnership Funds. So under Global Partnership Funds, we allocate the budget to relevant PMUs. So there are 3 main pillars here. The first one focusing on the economic development. So we have like PMUC and some other PMU working on this. So they have to find relevant partners in order that they can do the research in order to focus on the economic development by using research results. And the second pillar is about the research excellence. So we try to develop the Thailand higher education system, as well as to build or increase the capability of our researchers by working with the international scholars. And so the third pillar is focusing on the environmental and societal development, so which are quite similar for many other countries. So it's not possible for Thailand to tackle the sustainable goal by ourselves. So we need to work with other partners. So we're setting up this global partnership scheme in order to promote the international collaboration. So here's the my information from me for the first round. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pongpan. Now, let's move to Dr. Kanchana. So, Ms. Kanchana, you are now working at the ASEAN Secretariat, overseeing several sectors. Could you please share how does the ASEAN Secretariat support integration and collaboration in science, technology, and innovation diplomacy?
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me all right? Well, first of all, I have to thank the host, Asia Europe Foundation, the Ministry, MHESI, and also NXPO for having me here today. I have some difficulty with my internet connection. The whole internet at ASEAN Secretariat is down, so I'm really rely on my phone internet, just in case my video might be shut off at certain points. Please, my apology for that. Well, for ASEAN role in science or STI diplomacy, I think I have to mention that ASEAN has long understood that science, technology, innovation are not just for economic development, for growth, for quality of life, but they are very essential for our region long-term integration and resilience. We have cooperation in science, technology, and innovations. Just a few years, 2 years after we have formed the ASEAN community, it's more than 50, 60 years. So, and now science, technology, innovation is even play more important role in recent years. It's also part of the competitiveness, and our making us has more credibility in the global stage. So the degrees to which science, technology, innovation is now seen at ASEAN, it's very central to ASEAN identity and, make ourselves more global relevance. This really made clear in our new ASEAN Community Vision 2045, our new 20 years vision that the leader has just endorsed just in May, that we really want to aim ASEAN to be a future-ready community. And innovation is really highlighted, science, technology, innovation is highlighted as a very cross-cutting strategic enabler, to support that, supporting innovation-led growth, and also strengthen our resilience. We talk a lot about resilience now today, also powering us in climate change solution and also enhance digital connectivity. So with that, to answer your question, how ASEAN Secretariat contribute to all this science, technology, innovation diplomacy, I think I can summarize in 3 key fronts. In mainly the Secretariat ourselves, we play coordinating role, but I can see in 3 levels. The first one is on strategic alliance or policy coordination. We have, I think many of you are familiar with ASEAN Science, Technology, Innovation Committee, and also we have ministerial meeting, the COSTI and AMSTI, right? So that's the platform that we can help harmonize and align national policy. And that platform also connect with other sectoral body. I myself cover around 6 to 7 sectors. So I can say that science, technology, innovation are quite cross-cutting in areas like energy, agriculture, environment, education, transport, or even tourism. So you can use ASEAN as the platform to align policy, do policy coordination. The second level, I think we can also help with collaboration. Once we align policy, we align resources. ASEAN has a very excellent platform, and you can imagine of, for science technology alone, as many of you might familiar, we have 9 subcommittee. We have Center of Excellence under even only science and technology ourselves. We have more than 20 Center of Excellence and network. For example, we have network on drugs, diagnostic vaccine, traditional medicine innovation. We have a center on microbial utilization led by Thailand. We have a group on working on biorisk management, even BCG led by Thailand as well. That's another network. We have ASEAN Foresight. So just to name a few, that's the next level that ASEAN Secretariat can help with the collaboration with, translating the policy into regional platform for cooperation. And the third part, I think we can also help with external engagement. ASEAN has more than around 17 dialogue partners, ranging from Australia, Canada, China, EU, Germany, India, Italy, Japan, New Zealand, Pakistan, Korea, Russia, Switzerland. The US, and we have like +3, China, Japan, Korea, and +8 East Asia. So that's another level that you can, as part of ASEAN, you can leverage on that to also engage with external partner. And also, I have to mention international organization as well, and also private sector. We are partner with UN, UNESCO, WIPO, even NASA, or even company like big firm like Apple, Huawei, Microsoft. They are partner for us. So I think for ASEAN Secretariat, those are the three key fronts that we can, looking from the lens from Thailand, you can leverage on that to connect to those three areas that I mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kantana. There are many collaborations that ASEAN Secretary is working on. Let's now move to Mr. Thitidet. So, Mr. Thitidet, you are based in Washington, D.C. at the Royal Thai Embassy. Could you please elaborate how MHESI integrates the diplomacy into its broader policy agenda? Could you also highlight a standout initiative, particularly the one in North America, under your purview?
Thank you so much. And well, first of all, thank you so much to ASEF for organizing the workshop series and allowing me to join the conversation today, even though we have a very big time difference here. Well, first, Thailand is known for our balancing relationship with global partners. We generally don't take side in the geopolitical or bilateral conflicts generally, but rather offer humanitarian assistance and encourage peaceful and constructive talk. Well, I'm not going to go further in here because it's not our topic today. But the reason that I mentioned was the fact that this lays a basis to our consideration when it comes to cooperation, and that also includes science and technology. It is ideal if we can have STI collaboration totally separated from geopolitical conflicts. But it's simply impossible because this is a government standpoint, especially at the state level like this. Well, when decisions and actions are entangled by so many factors here. So what we can do is to look beyond the conflicts. Well, it sounds similar, but it's actually not. Well, we look beyond, we just not look over it. We recognize the conflicts exist and we listen to all parties. We have to navigate through the obstacles and come up with a tangible solution that don't create complicacy here. Even though each agency, each research organization, each university under MHESI supervision has its own authority to make decisions and initiate an international cooperation. Well, as far as I have seen personally, all of us are following this approach. I guess well, partly it might also be a norm or a nature of Thai people that always wanting to keep friendships. Well, clearly we want to advance our science, technology, and cooperation, but we never want to upset anyone. Now, let me dig a little bit deeper and give you some example here. And I can't take any other example than the US and China geopolitical conflict here. So, well, between Thailand and the US, we do have a really long time relationship, over 190 years now. We, in particular, to the science and technology, and the recent development here, we just signed an agreement on science and technology cooperation This one was dated back in 2013, and then we kept renewing and up until now. And this is one huge portal because it is a very big science technology agreement that covers basically every single thing, but it's a big umbrella here. So it's a huge portal that joined both our countries for collaboration in any field of science technology here. And there have been 3 joint committee meetings so far since 2013, and we expected to hold the 4th one in the US next year. And a joint statement was also announced by our 2 countries after each meeting. We also hold several topical agreements and MOUs. We had the arrangement of the exchange of technical information in the field of peaceful use of nuclear technology with the U.S. Department of Energy, and it was in place since 1997. We signed a cooperative agreement for the peaceful use of nuclear energy. It's called 123 Agreement, which is the agreement under Section 123 of the U.S. Atomic Energy Act. We also joined the Artemis Accords last year in December. Even though Artemis Accords is multilateral, it's cooperation nature. In its cooperation nature, the U.S. government is actually the depository of this instrument. We hold several other university agreements for different purposes, including research collaboration, exchange visitors, student exchange program, and many others. Now turning to China, not to mention Mekong Lanchang Initiative, which is a very obvious, collaboration between Thailand and China. Last year, the China National Space Administration, CNSA, and MHESI, we signed an MOU on cooperation in exploration and peaceful use of outer space, and an MOU on cooperation in the International Lunar Scientific Research Station. So you can see, the contrast here because we signed the Artemis Accord, which is the space collaboration program, and we also signed another MOU. Well, actually 2, and there will be more too with China. We take balance here, as I mentioned earlier. At that event, Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachaki Prisinton also attended and witnessed the signing. MHESI minister was there. MHESI permanent secretary was the person signing. So we also gave a lot. We also pay a lot of importance to China in this regard, not just the U.S. side. Then this year, at the beginning of this year, we had a big delegation of Thailand led by the Prime Minister to China. We traveled to China, and it was a big delegation, covered a lot of topics, and science technology was one of them. We signed a lot of MOU at the time. 3 of the 14 in total was in the science and technology. It was the MOU on cooperation in establishment of joint laboratory on artificial intelligence between MHESI and the Ministry of Science and Technology of China. MOU between MHESI and China National Space Administration on moon aiming Thai-Chinese hodoscope, I think it's called MATCH, under the Chang'e 7 mission. And also the third one is the MOU between MHESI and China Atomic Energy Authority on cooperation in peaceful use of nuclear technology. So I also mentioned the nuclear collaboration between the US and Thailand, and we also have nuclear collaboration with China as well. So you can see the balance here, as I mentioned. Of course, we also hold several cooperation with other countries, and the main partners are UK, France, EU, and Japan, and probably Australia too. But the US and China, as you can see here, this is a very obvious example of how we balance the diplomatic relationship and in the science technology as well. So you see, it is common for Thailand to have multiple agreements with multiple partners in the same umbrella, but if you go into detail, the intention was actually focusing on different specific aspects because after all, when it comes to science technology, but at the end, there will be knowledge, there will be wisdom, there will be what we learn, and some of them could be very sensitive, and as I say, sensitive information, sensitive technology that some of the countries might not be comfortable in collaborating with the third party, especially when we come into this sport here. So we have been very careful in this situation, and we have to manage these agreements so that they won't have any conflict with each other, they won't overlap with each other. Well, some of the topics could be overlapping, especially when it's not sensitive. And so in the end, we respect our partners and we avoid creating any more tension in the geopolitical arena here. We practice both science for diplomacy and diplomacy for science. So it's both ways. And just to highlight a bit more of the two-level agreement styles, this is my personal opinion. Personally, well, I believe that the goal of the umbrella MOU or the agreement, whatever it is to show a symbolic movement, intention, and commitment between the partners, at a higher level, and smaller ones, and usually organization to organization. These are very much more specific in the area of cooperation, and that has been agreed by the two parties. So in the end, they are both important in a sense for sustained collaboration. That's my say.
Thank you, Mr. Hitidet. I appreciate you raising the importance to recognize the conflict and obstacles in geopolitics. This makes science diplomacy challenging, but at the same time, it is also an opportunity to use science for diplomacy and diplomacy for science as well. Now we will come to the second round of the question, and we are going to dive into the challenges and coordination mechanisms that shape science diplomacy. If for the audience, if you have any question, please feel free to send your question using the Q&A function. You can pose a general question or a specific question to a particular panelist. There will be an opportunity for the panelists to address the questions at the end of the session, or the panelists can also integrate the questions in their answer right now as well during the second round of the question. We have one question already to Dr. Kanchana to elaborate about science and technology issues in ASEAN Community Vision 2045. So then let's move to Dr. Kanchana for the second round. And I would like to also ask you a question as well. You can answer the question from the audience at the same time. So prior to joining ASEAN Secretariat, you were a high-level executive at NXPO, a policy office in Thailand. So you have perspective from both in the regional level and also the national level. Could you also share how can Thailand position itself more strategically as a regional advocate for science diplomacy within ASEAN? And what are the emerging global trends that Thailand and ASEAN should prepare for over the next 5 years? So a few questions in one round.
Thank you for the question. Just want to check that you can still hear me all right? Because my computer say connection unstable. Okay. Yes. Well, so the question is how can Thailand strengthen its role, right, as a regional STI diplomacy? I think first thing first, we have to acknowledge that not because I'm from Thailand, but I think if you have joined ASEAN meeting and you talk to people in ASEAN, we are already recognized as one of the leaders, in ASEAN when it comes to STI diplomacy. We are very active. We have a lot of cooperation program. Our ASEAN friends, partners come, training using a lot of our shared infrastructure. So I think we really, with the strength in this, I have to say it's dual strength too. It's not just the science technology, institutional readiness, but also on the diplomatic relationship as well. In terms of foreign affairs, we are a very good bridge. In ASEAN, we have a very good recognition. That we are. Can be a bridge for ASEAN and also global partners. So having said that, I think we are in a very good position. And I heard Kun Salini speech. I was impressed. There are many initiatives. I'm familiar with our ministry, higher education, science, research, innovation activities, but other ministry of health, foreign affairs, transport, they all have done a lot of science technology related cooperation. So I think so what do we do in the next 5 years that you asked, right? How do we elevate our role further? I think that's probably we can discuss. So this is just my own ideas, my own thought. We definitely we can be a very strategic advocator. We can be a convener, and we can also be a system builder. Thailand can, there are several agenda that we drive at national level, and we have seen that it has good impact. It's benefit the society, it's benefit the country, and it's also benefit the region. We expand it, we advocate it to ASEAN. For example, ASEAN Talent Mobility, it grew from Thailand Talent Mobility Program, and it's now we offer a very good platform. People go there and search for talent, and they it's a starting point for many things. So I think many agenda that we have working on at a national level. I've seen Dr. Pongpan thematic track, right? Many that we have a strong platform. We see that's a benefit, and we will benefit the region, and we will benefit international community. I think we can definitely be a strategic advocator, building from our our strength, our experience, right? And in terms of convener and builder, I saw many opportunities. Just want to highlight a few. I think at the moment we definitely have to look at sustainability. We have to look at digital. Those are the two keys thematic area that's everybody see as common interests and common challenges. So sustainability is something that really needs science, technology, innovation, and you really need to translate that into regional and national context. What do you mean by agriculture, sustainable agriculture in ASEAN context, in Thailand's context? It means no chemical. Or if you don't use chemical, what are the alternatives? That's all involves science, right? What does it mean by sustainable tourism? Is it waste management? Is it low carbon neutrality? Is it, you mean on green energy? And how do we contextualize into our own national and regional context? I myself also working on ASEAN Power Grid. It's a big program. It will be a largest investment opportunity in the region. It's also need a lot of science, technology, innovation. On green technology, I know a number of people in Thailand also work both in the science technology and also energy sector in advocating for an innovation solution for green energy. Thailand can also convene on innovation corridor for green energy or grid technology. once again, on tech, I think we are very good at biotech in agriculture. We could also lead in terms of integrated smart farming and also on biotech for food security. I need to mention about talent mobility. That's something that we really push for many, many years, and now it's become ASEAN common agenda. Everybody see the benefit of it, right? So moving forward, just a suggestion. We work on this at the regional level, the concept of co-developed the talents, right? That's the question of supply and demand mismatch and all that. Why don't we experiment this at ASEAN level as well? How do we come up with, we talk about innovation sandbox, innovation zone. Can we welcome researcher or talents in the region, to really build the capacity, the skill that we need for the region. And there are many areas, shortage on AI, engineers, medical technology or agriculture, a certain area of expert. Thailand can also help with this. This is my last point. I read on the paper, the country report, that you are discussing about having a data, sort of like a shared data for side diplomacy. I think this is very good. Is it well designed? It can also be both national tool and also regional tools to at least we're talking about emerging trends. We're talking about identifying gaps. I think that could be something that you can also expand from national database or data center or unit or effort into regional effort as well. I say last, but I just want to mention another agenda. ASEAN has many cross-cutting agenda that need collaboration from, it cannot be done in one sector. Definitely digital. We have our digital economy framework agreement. Thailand is also the lead negotiator. A number of capacity building programs that need to be done to support because it involves so many parties that we can also lead. On BCG, beyond BCG, ASEAN also have ASEAN Circular Economy Framework and Implementation Plan. That's also another good opportunity that Thailand can lead and also be a system builder connecting the dots. Blue economy, we are driving the new agenda on blue economy, cross-cutting on this, that we also link with opportunity for blue carbon, and also looking at inclusiveness, sustainable development for coastal area, marine, and even like water-related area as well. And also, definitely AI. It's everybody talking about AI. I know that we have a very good platform on AI, not just the policy, the ethical, but also on human capacity development. So those are kind of common theme that I think it's win-win for everyone for the region. So I'll stop now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kanjana. We have received quite a few questions from the audience already. If the panelists would like to address them directly in the Q&A function, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, we will try to address them at the end of the session. Now let's move on to Mr. Thitidet. Mr. Thitidet, I would like to ask you, how does MHESI coordinate with other ministries, given that there are so many ministries working in relation to science diplomacy? It can be Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Energy, Ministry of Industry. So how do these ministries work together domestically and also abroad to ensure a coherent national approach? And what are the biggest challenges as well in the coordinating effort?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. I think I was just looking at the Q&A, and I think one of the question is probably a little bit aligned with this. I'm not sure if I would be answering that question as well along with this one, but well, I try my best. And well, also you had a couple of questions in there, so I might not be responding in the order. I'm sorry for that. Well, I'll try my best. Well, first, there are pros and cons in bureaucratic system and hierarchy in Thailand's public sector. We're also known for the red tape in Thailand here too. There are platforms for the executives like ministers, permanent secretaries, or director generals, to exchange ideas and policies. It could be in the high level committees or other meetings. That they have a chance, to discuss in the policy level. So you can imagine here that the policy could be aligned, at those level. But then for the practitioners, researchers, mid-level directors, well, I would call them worker ants, and that's me too. We don't really have much chance, to get a gathering like that, as much as the executive levels. So many times, people can see, two or more ministries, or even more than that, even to the private sector, announcing policies or approaches that are aligned with each other or one another. You see here at that level, in a high level, it is great, right? To see and for other people to see that we can show the unity, to the partner countries, among different ministries within Thailand. But then, back to the working people level, we also feel secure that the high level executives are fully supporting, such policies. And then, we can start working and implementing these policies. But then not that many people would see that when it comes to work at the working level here, we don't have much chance to communicate, to exchange the thoughts, to share what we know, to one another's. As worker, sometimes it feel a bit like uncomfortable. I don't want to say awkward here, but I will just use the word uncomfortable. I think it's probably better suited here. And sometimes we have questions like, why do we have to explain, to different agencies over and over, explaining the same thing, many times, when we know that the executives have already agreed with some of the policies. And one big reason is, the worker at each ministry don't actually and necessarily have the same level of preparedness for the issue. Because we are working at different ministries, some of the ministries are, going forward more than the other ministries. And we don't understand, either the situation or the limitation of the others as well. So one way to get around this challenge, well, this is my personal opinion. One way to get around this challenge, though, is using personal connection. And I think it works for sure among the worker ants. But that's not always guaranteed. And it's not sustainable. When people come in and being replaced, then, personal connection will not be sustained unless you're bringing people into the network more. So people are being rotated and promoted, or move in or out of the relevant positions all the time. It also seems to have a more concrete and suitable approach. And this is my personal opinion as well. And we have used it not so extensively, but I would love to see more. How can I explain it? When it comes to SCI diplomacy agendas, I would love to see these things even more. The workers would appreciate the coordination ecosystem of the working groups, or even subcommittees, if you want it to be more formal here. Well, we have heard these words a lot of times, but the way I would like to mention here is, the real working group that people are sitting around. Even though I'm included in there, I would be willing to, to join even remotely, just because, when we work hand to hand with one another, with people in different ministries, I think we gain more insight, we gain more information and the situations of the others. So I would say it's very much like a task force here, and it's established to be tasks with specific objectives. The team would coordinate, contribute, and work together. And when the objectives are fulfilled, the group is dissolved, and the member will also be recognized, credited, or merited appropriately. It depends on your ministry. So I think that's the way to go. It's not the working group that is just established there and stay there forever. Working group or task force, it should be very specific, to the objective. And once it's done, we just dissolve, all right, and move on to the next agenda item. And well, the most important part is that this environment is the authority. I mean, the most important part of this would be the providing the authority. The worker ends, as I mentioned, we don't necessarily have the enough or appropriate authority. We need to be given that, from the bosses level. And so they need to give these workers who would be the representatives of the organization, and they need the authority to share even some critical information, and we can do that because we are the government sector, and to others in making some decisions. So we also need to be given the authority to making some decisions under certain frameworks. Of course, you choose them to represent your organization, so you need to give them some authority too. And so for those who are abroad, like us, like me here, there are branches in the chain of command here. And also line of communication, like the attaché office, like my office, we report to our ministry, and we also report and communicate with the embassy because we're also under the embassy. So there are two lines here. And relevant people and key personnel are always kept informed. So it's kind of like, I feel a little bit, I came from Thailand in the Thailand's, the government system. So we have one chain of command line, but then once I got here, it's a little bit different. And I kind of felt that we can communicate actually more effectively because we have two lines, to communicate at least to two ministries. And on top of that, there are some other attaché offices. For example, in Washington, D.C., there are agriculture office, there are commerce office. We also could be able to communicate and seek, assistance from these offices as well. So I would say it's actually not too difficult to coordinate, from our perspective here, except the fact that many partners have big time zone gap, especially for us here in Thailand, it's basically the clock around AM and PM. So it's only the lack of time here. Then what about other agencies in other ministries? What I mean by that is for us and the other agencies in other ministries. Well, this go back to the same pain point as I mentioned. Many times we have to turn back to the ministry to help us to connect to other agencies over there. Or sometimes, as I mentioned, there are some other offices over here too. They could also help us in connecting. And one thing I would like to mention here is we don't have representatives from the Ministry of Energy and the Ministry of Digital Economy and Society at any of the embassies. They do not have any representative abroad. Even though the tech-related issues would always come to our office, because our office is probably the only entity that would be comfortable dealing with the tech sector in the embassy's offices. And so
could you please structure up? We still have
okay. I'm finishing soon. Sorry about that. So we have to keep ourselves updated, in the progress and change in the tech related issues across the ministries. And well, India, I would admit that we're still struggling with the coordinating and communicating, sometimes with other ministries. And we're more than happy to be included in the working group, as I mentioned. So I think that's the key part that we should, the approach that we should take. And we call together, we work together, and we split when the job is done. And well, the team will become the long-term friends after that, though. That's a gain, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I have a question for Mr. Phongpan. The last question from me, actually, before we move on to the questions from the audience. So from TSI perspective, what mechanisms are in place or needed to align research investments with Thailand's international collaboration goals, including key strategies from other public agencies concerning investment? I know that is a big question, but would appreciate if you can keep your answer short. Thank you.
Yeah, I try to answer several questions regarding the mechanisms or what we can do to strengthen the international collaboration as well. And again, I want to echo shortly why we need science diplomacy about science and technology. So because we need that, we mentioned a lot about the climate change problems, but it's not individual country can do that. So we have to collaborate to tackle the global issues. And we also have to, in order to strengthen the STI capability, especially in ASEAN countries, I think we need to collaborate, beyond ASEAN. And we need to work closely with international research communities in order that we can strengthen our researchers. And also, even in ASEAN, we also have some, problems regarding the border that someone might know. And I think we can use science more effectively, use evidence-based, we can solve some problem more easier. And to echo this point again, why TSAI try to do something here in Thailand, because we think that we still lack a science advisory system. Even we listen from Mr. Titidet and Ms. Sharini, and I think some of you can see some gap that we can make it better if we can build very effective, science advisory system like other developed countries. And so that's why TSI, try to do some activities. For example, we just held a workshop for science diplomacy and invited ASEAN researchers into Bangkok. I think we have around 30 researchers from ASEAN plus 3 countries and participated in the workshop, which we working closely with AAS and TWAS. And finally, if I may say about the mechanism we have in place, and we might would strengthen it. So I mentioned about the Global Partnership Fund that TSI supported already. And we also supporting the ASEAN Talent Mobility Program mentioned by Dr. Kanjana. So under the operation by PMUD, and also under the international network, we are, one of the active member of Global Research Councils, which is the network of the head of funding agency around the globe that we talk together annually and try to, comes up with the statement of purpose for each year. And Thailand will be the host of the annual Global Research Council for 2026 in Bangkok. And we also the member of Belmont Forum, which is the biggest network of funding agencies around the globe. So we launched so-called the collaborative research agreement so that we pool the money from, Thailand and relevant countries that have same or similar interests in order that researchers from many countries, including Thailand, can work together to solve, the common interests and issues. So, yeah, that briefly how we are facing, and I think what we can do to strengthen international collaborations, because the time I think quite almost up. Yeah, so what I want to echo again. So TSI and our funding agencies strongly support international collaborations, and we hope that by supporting this, we can accelerate science and innovation development to solve the global issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Phongpan. To close the panel discussion, we will do a quick lightning round. And in the interest of time, I will not read all the questions and issues that have been raised in Q&A function. Instead, may I invite the panelists to briefly address some of the questions and issues of your choice that have been raised. And please keep your answer within 1 minute. I would like to invite Dr. Pongpan to begin. Thank you. You are muted.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So if I can do to, to strengthen the side diplomacy or promote international collaboration. So if I have the power to do so, I think if we can eliminate the, geopolitical issues and, allow our researchers work together, I can imagine that we can accelerate, science and technology development to solve a problem if we can, try to allocate more budget into the global issues, not to develop like the WIPO or defense technology, something like that. It might be, good for all of us and humankind. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Thitithep, please.
Okay, well, for me, I would take to promote the regulatory sandbox to accommodate the emerging technologies, frontier research or disruptive innovation. Well, this is nothing new. Actually, Taiwan, Japan, Singapore, Canada, UK, these are notable countries that have introduced this approach. But I love to see more, especially, they started with the fintech area, but then I have seen it that some of the countries started with the UAV or AI. It has to be aligned with the frontier techs because, regulatory sandboxes, when you can work together between two or more countries in a common interest area. And the most modern part is, and I think it would be also be addressing to some of the questions on the chat box too, that all the parties need to have honesty, sincerity, and good faith, to start off, to gain trust and to build trust among ourselves. And when these things are in place, there's no need for regulation. Well, of course, I'm not saying that regulation is not needed, but at that stage, it is probably not needed when people are gaining trust from one another. And I think that's the way for frontier tech.
Thank you. And Ms. Kanchana, please.
Thank you. I tried to read through all the Q&A, and I like one of the questions on how do we scale the capacity, right? And I think it led to my answer to you as well, that I think it's for us, for all the smart people, scientists, and diplomats. I think it's the incentive. You have to provide the right incentive, and the ecosystem, the build capacity. So my short answer, I think I would love to see more of a dialogue between science and foreign affairs and diplomatic community interface. A dialogue between scientists, diplomats, and I know NXPO and TSI has used this concept of policy lab. That it's not just a dialogue, but people join this kind of workshop or activities that they solve, they exchange idea, and they come up with some kind of policy recommendation. So I think I would like to see more on the engagement. It could come in any innovative form, right? But more science and diplomat interface. I think it would be a strong foundation. And speaking about real action, I would like to see STI diplomacy fellowship from TSI and MHESI. I think if we could do a very early career scientists, diplomats, or policy professional, from different, not just in Thailand, but from different countries, and not just only in ASEAN, but for them to do perhaps like a year-long rotation. I've seen that before. As ASEAN, we also have an attachment program from 10 ASEAN member states, funded by Japan. They come and attach with us, and half year they rotate, or sometimes like every quarter they rotate. And I think it's a very good capacity building program. If even wonderful if we could rotate them among government ministry, scientific research institute, or even like international organization like the UN. That would be great. And also, if you can engage private sector, all this innovation hub, startups, incubation, I think that would be wonderful. So we could help build a new generation of STI, diplomat per se, so that they could help navigate all this, because you need people that understand both culture, can understand, the languages of both sides. So I think something like an early career fellowship would be very useful. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kanchana. And thank you to all speakers for a rich and thought-provoking discussion. Thank you also to the audience for staying with us. I really appreciate all the questions that have been raised. And I also apologize that we do not have time to address all of them. We are running a little bit late. Sorry for that. But before we close, I would like to invite Linnea for any final announcements. Please, Linnea, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pompreya, for that. And thank you to our speakers for your insightful discussions as well, and for being with us here today, sharing your expertise and your knowledge with our attendees, and for also sharing these different perspectives of how one can engage in science and technology and innovation diplomacy, not only from the Thailand perspective, but also internationally. Before I do final closing remarks on the notes from Dr. Kanchana on kind of programs for young people to engage in this field, I would like to take this opportunity to highlight that in the coming end of this year, or towards the second half, as we're now entering, we will be organizing here at ASEF a pilot capacity building program for specifically aimed towards youth that are engaging within the diplomatic field or within the scientific field, specifically aimed here at research managers who are willing to engage in science diplomacy, who are already in the field or interested in learning more about it. So keep a lookout for this through our social media and our website as well. So yes, allow me to take this opportunity to do that little promotion for us as well. We really think that it's important to introduce these topics to the youth as they're emerging into their fields and into their roles professionally or academically as well, to know that this is an opportunity for them to engage in an international field. With that being said, again, thank you to our panelists, thank you to Ms. Pompreya for facilitating this discussion, to our attendees for being here with us. Allow me to give some closing remarks before we wrap up related to this project and what we have looking ahead as well. So as you're aware, as we mentioned in these introductions, this was the first session that we're now organizing on the Thailand Science, Technology and Innovation Diplomacy ecosystem. But look out also for next week and the week after for our second and third session, which will explore the role of academia and research institutions, as well as the role of businesses and the private sector in this field that complements this session on the role of government in particular. Also in the month of July, beyond our workshop series on Thailand, we're also organizing one on Indonesia. So if you're interested in learning more about the Indonesian ecosystem here related to STI and diplomacy, you can scan the QR code here to join that as well. If you're interested, we've also conducted 2 prior workshops to this in April and in June on Malaysia and Kazakhstan, all of which the recordings are available on our website for you to watch now after the fact. We also mentioned the report for which we started last year, our research kind of mapping the STI policies and initiatives in Asia and Europe within our member countries. You can scan the QR code here if you want to read the full report. Beyond that, I want to thank you for joining us today. Thank you to our welcome remarks speakers, to our keynote presenter as well, and to our speakers and Ms. Pompeya for facilitating this panel discussion. We're very thankful for you for taking your time and sharing your expertise with our attendees. To our attendees, thank you for being with us, for listening in, for asking your questions, and for engaging also during our poll questions. We hope to see you next week. And for that, I would like to wish you a good rest of your day, good rest of your evening or afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from. Thank you so much.